Okay. On the injury front, you saw we ruled out Denzel and KhaDarel, and then Melissa Hooper as questionable. Thought it was a really good work week just getting off the field here. Thought it was a very crisp day today. We understand the challenge that we have with a very good football team coming into our building. Looking forward to getting in front of our fans again there on Monday night. You know, I do want to mention Anthony Hughes Jr. was a young man who lost his life on Wednesday night in our city. And I just want to extend my condolences to his friends, his family. I know he was active in the Boys and Girls Club, and such a tragic, senseless thing that happened. And I just want I encourage everybody to read this young man's story and then find a way that we can be a part of making sure things like this don't happen again. With that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Coach. The first question will go to Mary Kay Cabot.
Yeah, Coach, can you describe a little bit about what happened with Austin, when it happened, how it impacts you guys, and what the chances of him playing are?
Yeah, I don't know, Mary Kay, when it happened. Kind of popped up, if you will. I don't know. You know, I can't put odds on it. We'll see. I think the next 24, 48 hours, we'll monitor it and then make a decision before game time.
And how does that kind of, you know, what kind of blow is it to have something like that happen to you once again late in the week?
Yeah, you know, not ideal, Mary Kay, but like you said, we've been here before, and we'll just make sure if we don't have hoop, we got guys that are ready to go, and if we do have them, you know, we're full speed ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Kay. Nate Ulrich, you're up.
Hey, Kevin. So with Austin Hooper, right now you believe that, you know, there's a chance he could play Monday. So it's not necessarily believed to be like a serious neck injury, like a Taywan Taylor had to go on IR.
No, yeah, I'm not ruling. If it was, we'd rule him out for the game. So he's truly questionable.
Okay. And then with Denzel, and the other day you said you didn't think he was a long shot. So you think he'll be back, you know, next week? Was it close this week? How'd that go down?
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on your percentage of a long shot that you believe in. You know, he's working hard, Nate. He's moving around. He's progressing about where you would expect. So I'm hopeful for. It didn't happen this week, but I'm definitely hopeful for next week.
Thank you, Nate. Scott Petrick, you're up.
Hey, Kevin. Is it still hold true that you expect to get Wyatt back before Monday?
We're right on schedule in that regard, but as you know, it's kind of wait and see mode there as well.
And then with Marvin Hall, I know he's activated today. What did you guys like about him to claim him, and is there a chance he could be a part of your return game?
Yeah, I think we're having those discussions as we speak, Scott, in terms of his role. But he's a speedster, has made a bunch of plays over his career, so we'll see where he fits in.
Thanks.
Thank you, Scott. Aditi Kinkhabwala is next.
We just got off a call with John Harbaugh, and he went out of his way to mention the fact that y'all will have fans in Cleveland. So this has been the most bizarre year in terms of generating togetherness, juice, whatever. How much of a difference do you really think it makes to have 6,000 people in the stadium? And do you notice them?
Yeah, I definitely do, Aditi. Our fans in our building have done a great job. They're compliant. They wear their mask, but they make a lot of noise. I definitely hear them. Probably hear them more than I would in a full stadium. So we really appreciate having them there. And again, they're being very smart about it, but we appreciate them being there to cheer us on.
Okay, then another one sort of taking a sharp right turn. This is going back 2 weeks, but John Harbaugh teams in general are not flat. 2 weeks ago, they bring up 10 basically practice squad players and give the Pittsburgh Steelers everything that they could. In watching that film, I mean, did you watch that film knowing that these weren't guys that you were going to see? And what was sort of your takeaway from that game? If you did watch the film.
I did watch a lot of the film this week. That was one of them. I would tell you, Coach Harbaugh and their staff in general, I know a lot of their coaches, they do a great job. So I know that they have expectations regardless of who's in there. So it didn't surprise me one bit that they had guys ready to go.
Thank you, Aditi. Daryl Ryder, you have our next question.
Yeah, Coach, I want to ask you about Calais Campbell. His game status is unknown at this point. I know he's missed a couple of games this year. How different is Baltimore's defense with him not on the field?
I mean, he's a very, very large man. And I remember seeing him when he was a young man there with the Cardinals over the years. And he's a physical player. He's long, as you know. He's powerful. He's a really a player that can be disruptive. Have a ton of respect for him as a player. Have a ton of respect for what he does off the field. But he's certainly a big part of what they do.
Thank you, Daryl. We'll go to Scott Petrick next.
Hey, Kevin, with your front four, do you feel like it's playing its best ball of the year, and that might be because guys are back and healthy?
I think in total, Scott, I think that we're all at every position trying to play the best ball. But when you get guys back healthy and you get to put guys in roles and where they can excel, I think that's important. I think that's something that you're seeing along the defensive front.
Thanks.
Thanks, Scott. Dan Lobby, go to you.
Hey, Coach, you obviously had high praise for Joe Woods after Sunday's game. And I'm just curious, what have you seen from him this year as he's dealt with guys kind of coming in and out of the lineup, lost Miles for a couple of games with COVID, all of that. What have you seen from him?
Nothing phases Joe. Who's ever available to him, he's going to use, and he's going to utilize them to the best of their skill set. Every time the word comes up that so-and-so is not going to be available, he really doesn't blink. He just goes into how they're going to put a plan together to find a way to go get a victory. So I really appreciate that about Joe and the entire defensive staff.
Thanks.
Thanks, Dan. Back to Aditi Kinkabwala.
The Ravens defensively bring pressure in a variety of ways and from a variety of positions that's maybe greater than I think any team that I personally cover. What are the mechanics of preparing for that? When you don't necessarily know exactly what they're doing, how do you get your guys ready for that?
Yeah, it's a rules game, Aditi. So you have to stick to your rules, because you're right. They do bring a multitude of pressures from various looks. And if we try to block every single one of the pressures they've brought this season, a season's worth of pressures, we'll bog ourselves down. So it's a rules game. We got to stick to them and put the quarterback in position to make a big play when they pressure. So they do a nice job. They do it well. They're sound in what they do. So it's a big challenge for us.
So who's that guy for you? Is it Baker identifying it? Is it somebody on your line that you feel really strongly about being able to pick out what's happening?
I think in most teams, it's between the quarterback and the center that really drive the communication at the line of scrimmage.
And what is it about JC? Why do you feel so strongly about him being able to do that?
Yeah, JC's seen a lot of defense. He's played this defense many times. It's hard to give him a look that he hasn't seen. And obviously a very smart player.
Thanks.
Next question goes to Nate Orrick.
Hey, Kevin, we haven't talked to you about Larry Ogunjobi in quite a while. What is he doing for you guys that, maybe not, maybe the average fan won't see in a stat line or anything like that?
Yeah, I'd encourage that average fan to watch the tape and go see the impact that he's making play to play. He gives us great reps, great energy, effort, defeats one-on-one blocks. I think he's doing a really nice job.
Thank you, Nate. Coach, I don't see any other hands up. So it looks like we're all set for today.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us.
Real fast, Rob, just want to wish the crew best of luck tonight. Go get that MLS Cup.